We've got more for you because my next guest is from Britain's biggest girl band of all time. Oh, we've got a lot of Little Mix fans in tonight, haven't we? Not them. From Girls Aloud. The fabulous Kimberley Walsh. Wow. You look fabulous. Kimberley, we're going to chat when you get out, but you were on Strictly, of course, recently. You did fabulous on Strictly. How was that? Was it an enjoyable process? You enjoyed it? It was.
No, I loved it. It was hard work, but I did. I really enjoyed it.
Hard work?
I promise you, it was hard work.
It's not hard work.
I'll show you some moves when I come out. It's hard.
No, you say... Hang on.
Dance moves. Dance moves, I should have said.
Kimberley Walsh, ladies and gentlemen. She's here, I'm thrilled. And finally, we're also going to be chatting to them, but they'll be playing music. You met them earlier. We've got Suggs and Chaz will be coming out alongside with Madness playing later. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. The Great Madness. All right, that's the show we've got lined up for you this week. Now, before we get to that, I know it's tough this time of year, January. Everyone's trying to give up stuff. Everyone's giving up, you know, after the New Year's resolutions, that kind of thing, giving up booze. And by the way, Suggs, how is Dry January going?
Fantastic, thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah,
yes.
I bet.
Yes.
But the reason why I'm raising this, though, isn't to talk about alcohol, but it's because the other things that are very hard to give up, of course, are treats like chocolate and cakes. And then, you know, you're trying to lose weight, it's very difficult. I found some cakes that I think will help you. They've been made by an extraordinary food artist. Her name is Miss Cakehead. That's what she calls herself. OK, so, and I've got some out here as well, so I'll show you on screen first. These are, first of all, these are designed to look like open wounds, OK? But you know what, that really wouldn't put me off because that looks sort of jammy and cherry flat, and I think, yeah, OK, I'll eat an open wound cake, certainly. OK, so you move on to this one, and this is the snail cake. But once again, that doesn't look too bad, because you imagine if that's marzipan or something, you'd wolf that down, wouldn't you? Now we're getting into the serious stuff. This is meant to represent leeches on a cut cake. But this is an actual edible cake you could eat, OK? I'm going to give it a little... Oh, that smells nice. That smells sort of licoricey. It's more lychee. And the cake is... Oh, it's more like a biscuit. Actually, that's really good. It's like white chocolate. Anyway, they're meant to be putting you off. So, they're the cakes. I don't know if she does weddings, but I happen to know that a couple of our guests have had birthdays this week. So, who's had birthdays this week in the green room?
Suggs and Chaz.
Suggs and Chaz. OK. So, in honour of your birthday, we said to Miss Cakehead, make us one of your special cakes. She's made it. It's under there. Let's have a look at the cake she's made for you. That is a cake. They're cake cigarette butts. Try one. What are they like?
They're like a Dundee cake with a bit of candy on top.
I think she makes a cake version of the patch as well. Let's have a look at the other cake. Now we know what happened to Mrs. Kipling, eh? Let's get my first guest out, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? She is, and I know it's a terrible thing to say about someone, but she's already a national treasure. The fabulous, the funny, Jo Brand, ladies and gentlemen. Come and sit down, get comfortable. So, did you have one of the...
Can I just say, who's ironically whistling at me there? Whoever that was over there, can I just say, I deliberately keep my weight up so a tosser like you won't fancy me. And whoever that was over there, possibly my husband, I don't know. But anyway.
You know what? Maybe one of them was for me. They love you. Hey, what were the cigarette things like? Were they tasty?
They were mainly icing.
Well, they said they were quite tasty then.
They were right.
They look disgusting, of course.
I'd rather have had a real fag.
I bet you would. So, Splash. ITV Saturday Night's surprise hit of the year.
Yeah.
The thing that surprised me about seeing you in Splash was I thought, OK, I didn't think of you as a diving person. Tom Daly's hosting it, of course. He has diving credentials. The other two guys on the show, the people on either side of you, they are diving professionals, I believe.
Yeah.
And in the middle, we have someone who isn't known for her diving, and yet you do dive and you are very much into that kind of thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite hard for me being a sort of national fitness icon. And, you know, I'm forced now everywhere I go to sort of dish out fitness advice. So just very quickly, if your lovers put on too much weight, get them to walk 3 miles in the morning and 3 miles at night, and by the end of the week, the fat git will be 42 miles away. So I trust that's helpful.
That's very useful, I would make
I did a lot of diving when I was a kid, and also a couple of years ago I did a show called Big Splash, and I trained at Crystal Palace with actually Tom Daly's erstwhile cheeky partner, Blake Aldridge, who's no longer with him.
Just have a look. This is some clips, so there's a little montage here for you of some of my favourite moments of Splash so far.
They're scared. I'll tell you why. Because it hurts.
It hurts even more if you don't get it right.
Well, I wonder where that bikini had gone. I've been looking for it for ages. But, you did over-rotate, but I do that when I come out the pub, so who cares?
You can do it.
It was like the most majestic turkey I've ever seen being fired out of a cannon. Slightly disappointed you didn't have your skis on.
Eddie the Eagle? Who knew? Who knew Eddie the Eagle could do that? But you enjoy it as a sport? It's something you do. If you went there, would you go on the board through choice? Would you say, I enjoy it that much, I'd like to do it?
No, I'd have to be beaten with a hammer to go. No, I've had a couple of quite bad diving experiences which put me off.
OK, well, let's hear one.
Well, when I was about 20, I worked as a nurse in a residential place for adults with learning disability, and one day we took them swimming, and the other nurse that I was with says, look, they want to know how someone dives, can you show them? Because he knew that I was a diver, so I said, yeah, I can. And I dived off the side, forgetting I was in the shallow end. And I know, and I hit the bottom of the pool. My teeth went right through my face. And I came up out of the water with a massive hole in my face. It was a bit like Jaws. There was kind of blood all around me. And what was so beautiful about these people that I was showing my diving to was they thought that's how you were meant to do it. And they gave me a fantastic round of applause. But it got worse, because I went to A&E and they said to me it's too swollen to use an anaesthetic, so they stitched it up without one. Oh! So, good day.
Any of you dive? Eddie, you're fit as a little whippet. You could dive.
No, do you know what? I remember thinking, I always thought I had a certain amount of elegance, but I once went and did a diving thing at school, and I came up, sort of, you know, did the whole swallow thing, came up expecting 9s and 10s, and I got a 2.4, I think.
Hold on. I love the fact you went to school. I thought you were joking about the scoring. They were actually scoring you at school. Wow. Suggs, have you ever been in the water?
Well, funny, Joe Brown's story. Yeah, I was once teaching my nephews, about 9 or 10, in Whitstable. They have these sort of breakwaters. We've got these little steps going down into the sea, and I thought it was on the last one. I'd say, this is the way you do it, boys. You dive across the water. I hadn't seen there was another one under the water I dived straight into. Wow. And the same, cut my shoulder open, and I was surrounded with blood. It must be something, you know, fellow professional divers do, you know?
This is like a kind of self-help group for people who've harmed themselves in pools. We should do this every Saturday. So you like swimming, though? You're a kind of strong swimmer? You enjoy swimming, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I love swimming. I particularly like swimming in the sea.
Nice. I love
that. You know, it's nice to see the odd tampon float past. The British seaside. A few years ago, I did actually do a sponsored swim. I was last, and I was chatting away to someone in the water, and a bloke on the beach went, "Shut your mouth." I said to him, "How dare you?" And he went, "No, you're coming up to the sewage pipe." So that's the British sea for you, delightful.
It's part of the fun of being in the sea, though.
It is, really.
Being able to go to the toilet right there without taking your clothes off. I always make full use of that privilege. Hey, Joe has done a lot over the years for Comic Relief, as I'm sure you know. Comic Relief here is with us again this year, and you're doing something quite special for this year, which I'm very much looking forward to. Can you tell us about that yet?
Yeah, I took part in a Comic Relief Great British Bake Off.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was really good fun.
And so, and this is Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry and Mel and Sue. It's the whole team from the proper show.
Indeed.
Okay.
And comedians trying to make cakes.
Who else was with you? Can we say who was?
Well, on my show, it was Stephen K. Amos and a double act, two girls... Oh, bloody hell, I've forgotten their names. It's the menopause people. I've got no memory to speak
You
of
haven't got
at
the... Have you got the
all.
menopause going on yet, do you reckon?
No, that happened about 1853. But I am still grumpy. Which actually I do really, really enjoy. No, I do.
But you've always professionally been grumpy, haven't you?
Well, I suppose I have, but actually that's all a front in a way, because comedy audiences, they're not kind. And if they look at you and they think that you're starting to fail and you're getting a bit upset, they don't go,
They go for you.
We'll help you out.
Yeah.
They kill you.
So...
and so it's really important to look like you don't care. So that's what that was all about.
But it's great now because I think now people have... And initially, I think some people took that the wrong way, and some people thought you were, you know, like you were... People used to say, oh, she's not aggressive, but they're like a man-hater. Even though you were doing jokes, well, weren't at all. You couldn't... Anyone in their right mind couldn't interpret it in that way. But I think it was because you were a woman being quite strong back at them on stage. But now everyone, they know it's you. They love you for you. And it must feel... Does it feel strange that everyone's come around to you in that way?
Well, yeah, it does feel a bit weird, you know, because I'm kind of really used to getting abuse from blokes in vans, like, for years. Hello? Are you married to a bloke in a van? I remember once, like, walking along Oxford Street years ago, and a white van, my fave, came very slowly past, and of course they did, oh, lesbian, all this sort of thing out the window. And I did have quite bad PMT that day, and I went and ripped their windscreen wipers off. It's made me feel a lot better.
Wow, you actually did that?
I did.
Wow, congratulations.
I did. It was so enjoyable. I mean, I would never normally do anything like that at all. That's the joy of hormones, ladies. And but actually, the other day, I was just going to the paper shop, and a dust cart went by, and a bin man that was driving it went, "Oi, Joe!" And I thought, here we go, you know, fat, ugly, whatever. And I went, yes. And he said, I just want to tell you, you're the funniest woman in the world, and I genuinely mean that.
Oh.
And I was so touched. I know, it's lovely.
That's so lovely. And then he shouted, lesbian, and drove off really quickly.
No, well, I mean, I know I didn't have to sleep with him afterwards, but, you know, I was grateful.
It seemed polite. You know what? I agree with him. B, thank you for being here. Good luck with the rest of the splash, and I can't wait to see you in the Bake Off on Comic Relief this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Brand. Don't go away. After the break, I'll be joined by one of our finest young actors, Mr. Eddie Redmayne. See you in a couple of minutes.